Hi, welcome into our fourth class in our 7-class series of the Chakra System. My name is Nicole Hudson. I'm the founder of Wander Freely Yoga and Coaching. I'm also a certified Soluna life coach and have been with MaineGeneral for a year and a half. So we've been working our way up the chakras, right? We started with our root chakra, our foundation, our base. We then moved into our sacral chakra, our space of emotions, fluidity. We then moved into our third chakra, our place of power and confidence. So now we're going to move up into the heart. When we've been able to create this foundation, we're able to tap in with a healthy relationship with our emotions, honor our strength and confidence. We then move into the heart and our seat of compassion. And so as we practice today, we'll be working with our heart space, Anahata Chakra, or the fourth chakra. So before we get into the practice itself, let's take a moment and look at some of the qualities and characteristics associated with this chakra and where you might see it not only on your mat, but in your day-to-day life. So as mentioned, the location of Anahata Chakra is the heart. The central issues associated with it are love and relationships. And our goals within this chakra of finding balance are to balance our sense of compassion, self-acceptance, and good relationships. And when we say good relationships, I like to kind of switch that to healthy relationships, right? Healthy relationships with oneself, with friendships, coworkers, romantic relationships, family. And so it's a healthy relationship. And we talked about that a little bit in the second chakra as well. So we talk about that again in the fourth chakra. The rights associated with the heart chakra are to love and to be loved. Developmental stage is 4 to 7 years old. The identity is social identity and self-acceptance. So feeling accepted within the social realm. The demon associated with the heart chakra is grief. And so when you think of someone who is brokenhearted, it's a grief, right? So we think of that as the demon that is associated with the heart. Excessive characteristics might show up in the form of codependency, poor boundaries, being possessive or jealous, and narcissistic. Deficient characteristics could look like a shyness or a loneliness. Oftentimes you might feel isolated, have lack of empathy, and there might be a bitter or cynical quality to feelings that you are experiencing if you're in a more deficient space of the heart. The element associated with the heart is air. The color is green. And the seed sound is yam, Y-A-M, yam. And so hopefully, especially in the characteristics, the excessive and deficient, you might see these. Often matters of the heart is what we tend to see a lot in society, whether it's in films or books or stories. And so when we start to really tap into the heart, we can use the tools we've learned in our other chakras to feel more steady, to feel a better sense of self. So when it comes to matters of the heart, we can express ourselves more freely. And so the book I want to share for this chakra is the Radiant Sutras. And this is 112 Gateways to the Yoga of Wonder and Delight. It's translated by Dr. Lorin Roche. And it's a beautiful book of sutras combined, nice short ones. It's, one per page. But I find when I really want to tap into meditations in the heart, I can literally open to any page and read through it. And it connects in rather deeply. So if you are interested, we'll put this in the video so you can check it out. All right. So let's get into our heart space, right? Just like in the second chakra, in a yoga class or yoga asana class or the postures, you'll probably do a lot of hips. If you're in a class and someone is talking about opening up the heart, you're going to work with probably a lot of back bends. And there are lots of different ways to do that. So we're going to go through a short flow today. It's not going to be traditional back bends in the way that you might think of it, because I want to really honor the back, and it takes a long time to warm up. So we're going to think of opening our heart in different ways. Just like in life, there's never one way to do anything. So how can we start to tap in to look at more creative ways to get into these spaces? So let's start in a comfortable seat. And as always, we want to take time to warm up the spine. So in a comfortable seat, you might be up onto a blanket, you might be on your shins if that's more comfortable. Take a moment to let your shoulders soften. Maybe you close your eyes if that's safe in your space. And take a deep breath from the base of your spine all the way up to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, let everything out with a sigh. Let's take one more here. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Allow your lips to seal, and as you inhale, bring the breath in through your nose. And this time, the breath out through your nose. One more inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, take both of your arms up and overhead. You can open your eyes, turn your gaze towards your palms. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to your heart space. Take your right hand to the floor, bring your left hand onto your energetic heart, and imagine that you can turn yourself over a little bit to the left as you send your gaze up. Lift your sternum up into your hand so there's a little bit more space. Take another inhale. And exhale. Next time you inhale, sweep your left arm all the way up and overhead. You might walk your right fingertips out a little bit further, breathing into the side body, moving into your lateral stretch. One more breath in. And as you exhale, turn your gaze to the ground, sweep your top arm forward, bring your right arm to meet it, and go ahead, take a fold. Deep breath in. And out. Walk yourself back up to a neutral spine. If you're on your sits bones, you can switch whichever foot's in front or on top. If you're on your shins, feel free to stay as you are. Once you adjust your torso, inhale, take your arms up and overhead once more. And as you exhale, bring it all down to your heart. Left hand to the floor, right arm onto your heart, and then start to turn your heart over to the right a little bit. Think of lifting your sternum up into your hand. Take another deep inhale here. Maintain on your exhale. Inhale, right arm sweeps up and overhead. You might walk your left fingertips out a little bit more. Press down, maintain that openness in the front of your body as you take a breath into your right side. And out. One more inhale here. Exhale, top arm takes the big sweep again. Bring your left hand forward to meet it. Fold over your legs. Deep breath in through your nose. And out. Walk yourself back up to neutral. Lift your arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, right back down to your seat of compassion at your heart. Left hand to your heart, right arm over towards your left thigh, and start to take a twist. We're going to keep the hands connected here as you inhale, lift up. And as you exhale, use the connection of your right hand on your leg to maybe find a little bit of a deepening. One more inhale. And exhale. Turn your torso back to center. Bring your right hand to your heart. Take your left arm up and overhead, and then left hand finds your right leg. Start to turn yourself over to the right. Lift up through the crown of your head. Lift your sternum into your hand. Full breath in. Full breath out. Start to unravel yourself once more. Bring both hands to your heart. Full breath in at neutral. And as you exhale, transition on to hands and knees for your tabletop. Set yourself up in a strong foundation, shoulders over wrist, hips over knees. Lightly draw in of the belly button and the low abdominals so there's a stability to your core. As you inhale, drop your belly, arch your back towards a cow spine. And as you exhale, press down into the earth, find a rounding into your upper back and shoulders on your cat. We'll take this one more time. As you inhale, find a little drop as you look forward. And as you exhale, firm press down to the earth as you round up. Come back to a neutral spine. Walk your palms about a handprint forward. Tuck your toes underneath. And imagine that you're unraveling back. So you're going to press your heart back. Press your hips up and let your head get heavy. Take a full breath in here. Option to keep a nice bend to the knees to find some stability and length through your side ribs and your spine. Take another inhale. As you exhale, imagine your heart space dropping down. Gaze to the front of your mat. Walk yourself all the way forward to a forward fold. Keep your feet about hip width distance apart or 2 fists. You can measure it out and put the 2 fists between your feet. Keep a nice bend to the knees, and as you inhale, find your half lift hands to floor, shins, or blocks. And as you exhale, draw the navel in. Let your head and heart get heavy as you fold. Take a deep breath in here and out. One more time, inhale to your half lift. Exhale, let your palms find the ground. Big step back with your right foot. Ground down through your right heel so you have heel to heel or heel to arch alignment with your feet. Press down, unravel warrior two. So take a moment to set up. You might need to widen your stance or shorten your stance. Expand your arms out long. Bend down into your front knee and have your front knee turning towards the pinky blade a little bit. So notice if it's knocking in, you want to think of turning it out. Soften down through your shoulders and then bring your right hand to your heart. Flip your front palm, reach forward, up and back. So reverse warrior. Lift your heart up into your hand. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. One more inhale. As you exhale, take your top arm forward and down, bring it onto your front thigh, and then press into your front forearm as you rotate yourself, turning your gaze up towards the ceiling. Keep your right hand on your heart. Think of lifting up into your hand for another breath in and out. As you inhale, sweep your right arm all the way up to the sky. Exhale, turn your gaze down, press down, rise up, warrior two. Straighten your front leg, hands to hips, pivot on your toes so you're facing the back of your mat. And always take your time to adjust your foundation, right? So set up on this side, knee over ankle. Take your knee towards the pinky a little bit. Engage your back leg, and then reach your arms up. Soften down through your shoulders, soften down through your jaw. Take a deep breath in here. And then bring your left hand to your heart, flip your front right palm, reach forward, up and back. Deep breath in. And out. One more inhale. Exhale, right hand comes down to your thigh. Press down into your forearm. So you're coming up and out of your shoulder joint. Keep your left hand here on your heart and then start to peel the torso open as you send your gaze up. Take a full breath in. And out. Inhale, unravel your left arm up to the ceiling. Exhale, turn your gaze down. Press down, rise up, warrior two. Straighten your front leg, hands to your hips. Pivot on your toes so you're facing the front of your mat. You might wiggle your back foot in. Take 1 or 2 or 3 steps forward. Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, bring your hands to your low back. Fingertips will face down. Draw your elbows in. And as you press your feet down, lift up through your heart. So we're finding a back bend from standing, and we're finding the lift from lifting the heart up. Take another deep breath in here. And as you exhale, take a generous bend to your knees, trace the back lines of your legs, start to find your fold. Inhale, trace the front lines of your legs to a half lift. Release your palms to the ground, step your right foot all the way to the back of your mat. Drop your right knee, untuck your toes. Press down into your left foot, reach your arms up and overhead. Connect your palms above you and then bend into your elbows so your thumbs find the nape of your neck. Pull your elbows in, and then again, lift your heart and elbows up and back. So you might send your gaze to where your wall meets the ceiling. You can stay here and breathe, or maybe you wiggle your left foot forward a little bit and drop down into the hips. Take another inhale to lift up and back. And as you exhale, re-extend your arms, reach forward and down, frame your left foot, tuck your right toes, lift your knee, step your back foot forward to meet the front, Uttanasana. Inhale to a half lift. Hands to the floor, step your left foot back, drop your left knee, untuck your toes. Press down, rise up to your low lunge. Palms press together, again, bend into your elbows, thumbs to the back of your head. Elbows draw in, press into your front right foot as you lift your heart and elbows up. Stay here for a breath in and out. Again, maybe you stay here, you wiggle your right toes forward, drop your hips down a little bit more. One more inhale. Exhale, take your arms up, forward and down, frame your front foot, tuck your toes, lift your back leg. This time, step your right foot back to meet your left high plank. Shift forward with or without knees, lower down to belly. Untuck your toes. Two options here. You can reach your palms back, fingertips pressed down, feet and hips pressed down. Or you might interlace your hands behind you or find a strap. Wherever you are with the upper body, press your legs and hips down as you start to lift. Keep your gaze towards the front of your mat so you have a long cervical spine, a long neck. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, release the palms, bring one cheek down to the mat, and take 2 full cycles of breath at rest. Turn your forehead back down to the mat. Once more, either connect your palms down or interlace opposite pinky on top behind you. Press your palms back as you start to lift up through your torso. Legs can continue to press down, or maybe you press into the hips and lift your legs up this time. Take a full breath in. Maintain on your breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, release your legs, release your hands, opposite cheek to the mat, 2 breaths at neutral. Bring your forehead back to the mat. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, and any way you want to get there, we're going to roll over onto your back. Once you find yourself on your back, take a bend to your knees, soles of your feet onto the floor, and let your palms face up so you can take a moment to maintain the openness in your upper body between your collarbones and allow yourself to settle in. Walk your feet about hip-width distance apart and grab onto the edges of your mat. So pull your mat apart here, and as you pull your mat apart, you can imagine your scapula, your shoulder blades behind you starting to draw towards one another a little bit. And as the shoulders draw towards one another, you might notice that you lift up a bit in the sternum and in the torso area. Now start to press into your feet. Keep your gaze to the ceiling so your neck stays neutral. Start to lift your hips up to any extent. Actively press your feet down, and then imagine you can pull your feet back towards you a little bit. Continue to draw the edges of your mat away from each other. Deep breath in and out. Gently release your hips back down to the ground. Release your mat. Let your palms flip up. Take a full breath in at neutral. and out. So we'll take a second round here, option to use the yoga mat here for support, or you might once more interlace your hands behind you. So I'll guide for the interlace, but know that you can use the yoga mat as well. Press down into your feet. This time turn your palms down, so palms press down. And as you start to lift your hips up, interlace your hands underneath you, and you might wiggle your shoulders underneath you a little bit more. So same action though, back of the body is getting nice and strong to find some space in the front of the body. Press down into your feet, press down into your forearms, take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. We'll maintain here for one more cycle. And as you exhale, start to release your hips, release the bind if you have it, or release your mat. Walk your shoulders out from underneath you. Flip your palms up. Walk your feet about as wide as your mat, and then let your knees knock in for constructive rest. Stay here with a neutral spine, 2 breaths in. And out. One more inhale. And exhale. Walk your feet back to about hip width distance. This time you can take your arms to a T or a cactus and take a few very gentle windshield wipers, letting your knees fall from one side to the other. So taking time to find a little rotation after we did our back bends. And specifically with back bends, I always like to pause at neutral prior to moving into any rotation or any forward folds, just to give your vertebrae the time to find some space in a center position. And the next time your knees come back to center, release your palms down by your sides, transition over from one side, and press yourself back up to a seat. And bring your hands to your legs as you adjust your torso, as you adjust the lower part of your body, and then bring both of your hands onto your energetic heart space itself. If it feels safe, you might close your eyes down or find a soft gaze. Bring your inner vision to your heart space and imagine the color green. And take a deep breath into your heart, into your seat of compassion. Deep breath out. And 2 more here. As you inhale, you might imagine your heart expanding, the color green expanding beyond the borders of your body. And as you exhale, everything moving back to center. One more deep inhale into your heart. Expand your breath all the way out. And exhale, bring everything back into your heart. Thank you for exploring the Anahata Chakra, your space of love, space of compassion for self and others, remembering your right to love and be loved in return. If your hands are on your heart, you can gently let your palms come back down, either facing up or down onto the lower part of your body. Feel free to keep your eyes closed or gently open the lids of your eyes. And so thank you for exploring today. Thank you for opening your heart to this practice. Next time we will talk about our next chakra, the throat chakra, and how to use your voice in the world. Thank you very much. Namaste.